Okay. So I'm going to be doing a training program to help, like a coaching or team building program for a company in the construction industry where at least a third of their employees are potential, potentially at risk of being deported, even though they do have permission to work in the country. It seems like that's not stopping the agencies from deporting them. So I have a normal program that I generally do with companies that are in construction or in these areas, but I don't really know what to say, what to do in a case where they're concerned about losing, not, it's more than just them losing a third of their employees, because that will affect their business significantly, but also the relationships that they've created among themselves. And so for me to go in there and start working with them, what keeps coming up in my head is, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
So that I came here with, I don't know where to
That
start.
sounds like a good place to start. So great. Let's use that stressful thought as the starting point for doing the work.
Okay.
So you don't know where to start with these coaching clients that are going to be at risk of losing a bunch of their employees uh, because of being deported. So is it true? You don't know how to start, or
Yeah.
sorry, don't know where to start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And can you absolutely know it's true? You don't know where to start.
Yeah, it's not coming. I don't know where to start. It's true.
Okay. And did I get it right? It's no, I don't know where to start. Is that the
Um,
words that you're using, or was it?
yeah,
I don't
because
know how to start.
the
What was
I just wrote it down. Where did I write it down? I
that was the problem. I
didn't know
didn't
where I
write it
put it.
down. I was
Here
starting to
it
write it down, and it
is. There it
slipped
is.
away.
Yeah. I don't know where to start.
Okay, perfect. I just want to get your words as they came
Yeah.
out. Okay, so how do you react? What happens when you're thinking of, you're planning these coaching sessions, and in the back of your mind or in the fore of your mind, you have this thought, I don't know where to start.
I play out endless scenarios in my head of different ways of beginning it. Um, I know that, there's I don't want to say a template, but there's a method of being able to just kind of let me know what is going on. But my concern is that this is not something that is common, and, or at least it not been in all the years that I've been doing this kind of work. I I feel like maybe I've taken on not more than I can handle, but more than is like almost possible for someone to walk in and try to help with, you know? And I'm not concerned about my credentials. I'm more concerned about doing no damage, not creating a problem to begin with, getting people in a place where they can hear. And yeah, this is like, it's new frontier. I've walked into hostile environments before, but I've not walked into this desperate fear before.
Yeah. So what happens inside of you when you think you don't know where to start?
Well, I'm afraid I'm gonna say the wrong thing. That I'm gonna stir it up, and I'm not gonna be able to control it. That if I let people talk too much about their concerns, that it's gonna turn into a huge upset. I It's a company, so that there's likely people on different sides in the company, and I you know I want to be able to make it so that people are willing to listen before I bring up any subjects. And um, and so every time I have the thought, oh, I could start with this because I'll get them to actually agree to allow both sides to complete talking while we listen to what's actually going on. And then the next 5 minutes later, I think, oh, I know I could start with this or I could start with that. And each one of them makes sense, but not one of them is coming out. And they all have me envisioning some form of bashing each other over heads with chairs in the middle of it.
Right. Right.
And me just running out of there. It's like, I think I should get my money in advance thoughts. So,
Yeah. So everything you envision ends up in the same place of a huge upset. And so I don't know where to start, right? This is the thought that keeps that we're looking at here. Um, any images from the past when you think this kind of thought? I don't know where to start.
oh, yeah, I have walked into situations with certain departments in cities where they're already violent with each other, um, trying to run each other over in the parking lot and sabotaging their food. I mean, they're yeah. So and and I have kind of just sit down and shut up kind of started like that. And your children. Um,
Right.
yeah. And then, but it worked out. It's like I at the time that it was happening, I knew exactly what I needed to do, and I did that. Oh, now it's making me realize that I didn't know ahead of time what to do. I just knew in the moment what to do, and that worked.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So it is interesting that I'm trying to figure out ahead of time without actually being in the room with them and reading
Mm.
them that I think I need to know what to do.
Mhm.
Oh.
So how does this thought affect your planning? Like as you're preparing or getting ready, you think, I don't know where to start.
Well, it's interesting because it came up when they asked for an outline, and I thought, well, I'm going to do these things, but I don't know in what order. But maybe that's what the outline should be. Here are some of the things that may happen during that first session, and not necessarily in this order.
Mm.
Huh.
Mhm.
Yeah, because my brain immediately went to, oh, I need to tell them, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this, and I can't predict that it's going to be that way.
Right. Right.
Huh.
So how does this thought affect your stress level when you think you don't know where to start?
It has me thinking, how close to the door can I park? In case I
Yep.
have to run out of there really fast.
Exactly.
Do I need to take Mace in with me? A stun gun?
Right.
Uh,
So, who would you be without this thought that you don't know where to start as you're planning, as you're getting ready, as you're thinking, as you're communicating with them? Who would
I
you be without this thought?
I think I'd be a whole lot more effective if I waited until just be prepared for anything. And without if I didn't have this thought, I'd be able to just go in there and say, I have no idea what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
I know I could run a few different scenarios through my mind and imagine what might be the right thing, but something completely new that's never happened before could occur. Um, they could actually be like welcoming me and happy to see me and curious and interested. you
Mhm.
know, Usually when I go in, the things have gotten so bad that they've been told that they have to do this. So it's often an insurance company or someone who's sending me in. Um, in this case, they reached out. So it may be maybe I just will let it play it by ear and see what happens, and it's gonna work or not. That's kind of the way life goes, huh?
Yeah. So notice the difference in your body with the thought, I don't know where to start, and without the
Like
thought.
like when my shoulders drop down about 4 inches.
Yeah, like that. Yeah,
Yeah, and, my voice is getting deeper because I'm not squeezing my chest tight.
yeah.
Uh-huh. I'm breathing. I'm not sitting on my hands now.
Mhm.
Okay.
So this is the even physical effect
Yeah.
of the thought. I don't know where to start. Just tenses everything up, leaves you in a place of not knowing where to go, and I should know where to go,
Which hand do
and
I hold
stress.
the mace in?
Yeah, right? Getting ready to park near the door.
Well, and, the picture is that they're reaching out, and I forget that when I'm in the space of I don't know when to start.
That's a great piece of this, like, part of how you react is you block out some details that actually could be really helpful
Make
to
a big
see.
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've been called in to work with groups where they did not want someone to interrupt, and they're asking for, "We
yeah,
need some help here." So, that makes a huge difference.
yeah,
And I didn't commit to actually helping them. I committed to, meeting with them ahead of time and taking them through the beginning of, you know, what I do, the way I do it, and which incidentally does include doing the work. So, they're in the process, not usually the first meeting, but a little bit of the work kind of works its way in. I see how they react to it. And then if we do the project, then everyone gets to, they learn the work.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
how would you turn the thought around? We've seen that it's stressful with the thought, obviously. When without the thought, it's less stressful. So,
Well,
what
it's
would be
funny
an
is,
opposite?
yeah, not to interrupt you, my apologies. I don't know where to start. Yay.
Okay. Mhm.
Right? I
Yeah.
shouldn't know where to start because I'm not standing in front of them listening to what's happening yet. I just
Right.
know the desire of their senior staff that they get, and this is the better part too. It's not the insurance company telling me to go fix this. It's their senior staff saying they've been asking for some help and being able to be calmer and able to focus more on their jobs and how are they going to protect their employees.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, of course you don't know where to start because you're not there yet. You
Um,
been haven't actually seen the details of the situation and who's there and where everyone is.
right.
Okay, so what's another turnaround? I don't know where to
I
start.
I do know where to start. I park, I get out of my car, I walk in the building, I introduce myself.
Yeah,
I get out in front of them and I go, "Okay, guys, where do you wanna start?"
could be that simple, right? Could be that simple. I love it. You know, and for anyone listening, like, you may have another kind of project or whatever, you don't know how to start, but this is such an interesting turnaround of, okay, just go in there and then ask, what is the
Ask,
next thing to do?
just
And
ask. They're the ones that asked for the help, so
yep,
they should be the ones to tell me where do you wanna start. And if they say, "We don't know, that's why we called you," then I'll just pick whatever seems right in the moment and start there.
yeah. Any other examples of that? I do know where to start or any other
Um,
meanings of that?
something to the effect of by other is like they don't know where I'm gonna come in and start,
Okay.
right? So they may have, I don't know how they're feeling about it. Some of them may be like, "Hey, everything's gonna be okay. We've got a consultant coming in and helping us." And another one saying, "Well, consultants never that never works. It won't there may be some other stuff." So they don't know where I'm gonna start. And I wanna
Mhm.
treat them with the respect of letting them know, "Hey, you know what? This isn't the kind of thing that you just it's not it's not rocket science where you just do one step after the other. It's very convoluted because it's human thinking, behavior, feeling stuff. Like, and then I bet I'm certain a lot of them are very overly sensitive. With not, I don't mean by overly, but they're highly sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's an organic process. They're dealing with human emotions, thinking, relationship, all of that. And it's not just like you say, rocket science where you go first do this, then this, then this,
step
then
one and
this,
step
and
two.
then you land on the moon.
I mean, I don't want to introduce anything to them that is so weird that they're not going to. I have to establish that I'm going to be speaking into their ability to understand what I'm saying first.
Sure.
But I'm also going in there in my head thinking, oh, they're construction workers, when in fact there could be quite a few of the senior management and people that are more, and not that construction workers aren't intelligent, but they're not usually out seeking this kind of work. I don't know how many
Mm,
construction workers do the work.
sure.
You know,
Yeah.
So I want to give up my preconceived ideas of, oh, well, you're a bunch of construction workers. I could walk in and they're mostly engineers, or they're senior management or something, all the
Right.
way down to the guy that they just hired this morning, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So,
So when you know who you're talking to, then you have a better idea of what
hey,
to say
it's
or
like
where to
a
go.
way to start would be find out who I'm talking to.
That might be it. Yeah. That could even be done before the meeting, right? That's a
I'll actually have a meeting with them on the phone or on a Zoom call at 11 o'clock this morning, which is, I'm in California, so it's almost 10. So in about an hour, I'm going to be doing a little pre meeting with them. So I can ask those questions and
Yep. Yep.
see, they've, yeah, yeah, I can
So
do
how about another turnaround?
that.
Like almost like the double negative or something. Like I don't know where to not or sorry, I know where to not start or something.
Yeah, I
Is that
do know where to
right?
not start. I'm not going to start making them do any tapping, and I'm not going to start making them do the work. Although the first step of the work, which is answer these questions, may actually be a good place to start. When you start a full worksheet, it's like, well, who's upsetting you and why, kind of thing.
Right.
Right. But I'm not going to just, I'm going to, yeah. So I do know where to not start. And demonstrating um, one of the things that I like is when they're I don't want to say that I like it when they're hyper, or they're animated about what the issues are, because a lot of times when they get animated, the other person can't hear them anymore. They're taking on the forceful energy of the person who's animated, and I want to demonstrate that a person can remain calm and listen while another person is animated, and so that I do know where to not start is trying to calm anybody down
Mm,
or
mhm.
invalidate anybody's concerns, right?
Yeah.
But just to let them be themselves and get being that way is normal and doesn't require a response or a reaction to it other than what is the person asking. So So that would be how I'm gonna start with me, because my thought was, "How am I gonna start them?" But I have to start me first, right? So me
Yeah.
first is really listening as if the person is asking me calmly, or saying something calmly, or that they're coming from a loving space. So where yeah, I do know where to start, which is walk in there and be the example of what the outcome could be like.
Mhm. Yeah. It's like come up in a couple different ways in this. Like where to start is by listening, by asking who's there, by asking what's going on, by listening to that and listening to yourself as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you. That was pretty cool.
Good stuff. Yeah. From not knowing to knowing.
And
And
I
nothing changed.
you
That's the
felt
cool
it?
thing. No, I was saying, and nothing changed, like, in the situation, right? Like,
Right,
it
no,
was
the
like
situation is me still walking in there, and I don't know what kind of mental state they're in. Um, I'll probably find out a little bit more in my conversation with them in about an hour, but for the most part, I've already talked to the supervisors enough. Um, they keep saying they're pretty excited about it, which is another kind of stressful thing. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna have to do the work on. Oh no, I'm gonna really disappoint them.
Right, right, exactly.
Oh,
That's
we're so
part of
excited.
what's
It's gonna fix
behind
this. Like, no, I'm
that's part
not.
of what's behind this needing to know where to start because I need to deliver, right? Because I don't wanna disappoint them, which makes it extra stressful. It's like
Yeah.
extra pressure. But if I don't need to know where to start, or I should say, if I'm not worried about disappointing them, which is another piece of work, but if that could be, then it opens up a whole nother level of freedom where you can walk in not knowing exactly how things are going to go, but open and willing to engage and trusting that whatever is supposed to happen will, and doing your best, right? It's a different attitude, a different feeling.
At this point, really, all I can gather would be the logistics, like where do they want me to park, and
Yep.
you know, well, where's the ladies' room?
Yep. I mean, it's really this whole thing is really about being present in a way,
Yeah,
right? It's like
that's the
if you're
point.
it's good to plan and it's good to know things in advance, but there's so many things you can't know in advance, and especially in a situation like this, that if you get too far ahead of it, you can't keep your eye on the ball as to what to do next. Like, oh, it's coming fast and hard to the left. Okay, just your body just moves to the left and responds, right? So,
That's
yeah,
true. Yeah. Thank
cool.
you.
Well, thank you.